Good morning, Lubbock. Welcome to the program. If you're just joining us, 7:06 a.m., you're listening to the Wake Up Call. Benji Snead here along with producer Brennan Riker. 77 degrees outside right now. Going to be another hot one today. Up near 100. It's going to be up near 100 most of the week. I don't think we get much reprieve till about Sunday, so stay cool out there. As you heard in the break, our text and phone lines are open this morning, 806-771-0923. Joining us this hour, our very own Lubbock County Elections Administrator, Roxzine Stinson. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
You all staying busy down there?
We're staying busy. It's been a busy election year this time.
It has. There's some interesting things going on in this runoff for Council District 4. I want to ask you, you gave me the numbers during the break. So through 7 days of early voting, we've had 1,820 folks vote early in District 4. How many? Well, let's talk perspective. We've got 2 days of early left and then Election Day. But through 7 days, and I know you don't really like comparing elections to elections, but of what we have to compare to, how is this pacing compared to the regular election in June?
It's up. I actually went by the office before I came in this morning, and we're up over 500 votes at this time, same time for the regular election.
Ever seen that before?
Nope. I was kind of surprised. But it is nice, though. I mean, I'm glad to see the voters are getting out. Still,
we don't have huge turnout by and large compared to who's registered. How many folks registered in District 4?
A little over 35,000.
35. I was saying 32 last week. So that's what we had, like 7.9% turnout in the regular, and we're pacing to be above that. What do you think's driving it?
I'm hoping it's because they're getting out knocking on doors. I know they both have been out and around, I've heard. But like I said, it is good to know that folks are getting out there to vote for this. And they've still got 2 more days of early voting Election Day. So I'm really...
We've had some interesting hours. So polls open at 8.
8 to 8 today and tomorrow.
8 to 8 today and tomorrow. Did we close at 5 a couple of days, or did I read wrong?
We did last week, and through Saturday was 8 to 5, and then Sunday was 12 to 6, and then we're open 8 to 8 today. That's give folks a little extra time for these last 2 days of early voting. Do we generally see a tick back up for the final 2 days of early? Yes, any given election as long as I've been here, our first 2 days and last 2 days are generally our busiest days.
So how, with 2 days left and then election, how much of the percentage of the vote usually comes on Election Day?
Sometimes about 25 to 30%.
Okay.
And then depending on what's on the ballot and what's driving it, it's even been 50% of the vote.
Yeah, wow, okay. So in a 2-person race, especially in a special election where we're seeing higher than normal turnout, Election Day could make a difference.
It could.
Yeah.
It really could. And it did last time as well.
Yeah, it did.
It did.
You think it's going to be a close one? I know your job's not to pontificate, but...
Thank you for saying that. I have no idea. I really don't. I wished I could, because with the turnout being up, I really don't know.
Yeah. Does a 2-day, you might have answered this, does a 2-day candidate runoff produce a different voting pattern than 5 folks in there?
Sometimes it does, because those folks that voted for the other candidates will give their vote to one of the 2 in the runoff.
Right. And then we're not even finished this year. This going to be like a record. I mean, almost every month of this year we either have elections or campaigning or something going on.
Yes, and early voting starts for November and October, but this is my last week. So,
well, and I'm so glad you're here. I want to talk about that. You've been with the elections office how long?
I'm almost 23 years.
And let's see, Dorothy Kennedy. You replaced Dorothy Kennedy as administrator, and that was back in
21.
Yeah, 2021. Good run there. What are you going to do with your days?
I don't know yet. I honestly don't. First week I'm traveling, but I sew. I love to sew. Yeah. I'm going to gut my house and clean it. But other than that, and I may go to Utah and see my son and go fishing.
Good for you. I would think if they're smart, they would keep you handy in some sort of consulting role going forward. Talk about the duties of the job and who, what qualifications does one need? Have we named your replacement?
Yes, his name is Troy Havard.
Troy Havard. I need to write that down. And what's his background?
He comes from Tarrant County, and he's worked there as their chief deputy of elections for several years.
So he's moving here for this job?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
He is.
Very good. We'll have to invite him on. Has he already started?
He started a couple of weeks ago.
Okay.
He's working with me until I leave. So.
Getting him acclimated?
Yes, sir.
And how many staff members do you guys have over at the elections office?
When we're fully staffed, including the elections administrator, we have 9 folks.
Mm-hmm. And you guys work, obviously, year-round. How is a city, say a runoff for a city council district, how is that type of election different from what's going to happen in November?
Well, other than we don't have near as much equipment out because with just 2 candidates on the ballot, we only put a couple of pieces out at each polling location. But for November, you'll have anywhere from 12 to 24 pieces at some of the locations.
Yeah.
It'll take a whole lot more staff for one, because we're just doing minimal staff for this.
I see.
But November, it's about 50 times more than what you're looking at or more. Because we honestly need about 300 people or more to work the November election.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. These are temporary paying jobs.
Yes, they are. They get paid to attend training classes, and they get paid for working. And I love to talk about high school students because we have some amazing poll workers that have come from our high schools as long as they're 16 years of age or older.
So what does that job pay per hour?
It's the same thing as everybody else gets paid. We pay them just like other workers.
Yeah, very good. And how if I'm interested in, do you need workers for this election?
No, we're currently staffed for this one. We're asking people to call in now so we can refer them to the employment agencies and answer any questions they may have to help get them signed up to work for November.
Okay. And what is how would someone go to the website? Call
go
the
to the website or call 806-775-1338, and any of our staff members would be happy to help.
Okay. Very good. So what is obviously you've never had a last week before, but what does this week look like for you? Obviously, it's different than any other.
It's a little different. I have appointments for stuff, but I'm currently working on the billing for the primary runoff election, and I'll have everything caught up when I leave, when I finish it.
And I would say leaving it in better shape than you found it.
I don't know that,
well,
but I think Troy's going to do an amazing job. Folks are going to really like Troy, and I'm glad to see him come in.
Yeah. We talked about the turnout. Have we had long lines as a result of the thicker turnout?
No, I mean, the lines are because we didn't put out as much equipment for this one, but they're not long lines. I mean, folks may have to wait in line a little bit on election day if we have, quite a few with the numbers up like they are, but you won't be waiting that long because with just one race on the ballot, it's pretty quick to get in and vote.
I see. Do you guys track demographics at all? For example, we know election day typically people like the patriotism of that. Mm-hmm. Do y'all track the demographics of who's voting early versus election day?
No, our office does not.
Doesn't? Okay. Yeah. Very good. Visiting with the Roxzine Stinson this morning with the Lubbock County Elections Office. If you live in District 4 and you hadn't voted, get out and vote. So far, as she mentioned, 1,820. Any prediction on what that number will end up being about 7 o'clock August 1st?
No, but it was 2,600 last time. I would not be surprised we don't hit 3,000
this time.
Yes,
that is just
or maybe more.
Anomaly to say the least. Interesting. We'll talk more about it coming up after the break. Appreciate Roxzine Stinson being here in the studio. 78 degrees outside right now. Vote early if you plan on voting today. It's going to be a hot one, 100 degrees for a high. It's going to be hot all week. So go and get your cast your vote if you haven't and you live in District 4. We'll be back with Roxzine Stinson right after this. Stay with us.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Welcome back to the program. Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you're getting out and about, getting ready for work, headed into work. Remember, you can take us with you. If you're listening to us over the air, we have an app, 92.3 The Hub, in your respective app store. You can download that app. You can listen live and listen to any of our previous programs. Lots of guests through here in the last 4.5 months or so, Brennan. I think, Roxzine's been on a couple of times before, but last week, Chancellor Creighton would be our 87th guest in 4.5 months. So we've had lots of folks through here. If you have a question, excuse me, or a comment this morning for Miss Stinson, text and phone lines are open, 806-771-0923. Very interesting. Last segment we talked about the turnout pacing, what could end up being about 3,000 compared to 26 something like that in the regular election. So obviously the candidates are out there keeping people interested. Man, I'd hate to be campaigning in this heat out there walking blocks like that. All right, I got to ask you, Texas Tech fan?
I guess so, since I live here.
Well, any reaction to the Galaxy Stadium rename?
I'm saddened.
You're sad. Well, and like I said, we had the chancellor on last week. One of the things he said was that they were going to find a way to honor the Jones family in some way, which they didn't just put people's name on there because you're president. I know that was a donation for the stadium as well. I have to remind people that, but they were going to find a way to. So in the elections office, all this talk about data centers making our life easier, making our life miserable, however you look at it. Do you guys use AI in the elections office?
No, sir.
Don't use it.
No,
Is
sir.
there a policy against it?
Not really, but before we'd ever use it, we'd need to get approval through our IT department anyway. So,
I see. Okay.
Because I don't know enough about AI to talk about it too much, but it's just, I'm very uncomfortable with it sometimes because some of the things I have seen in the news.
Sure.
But I also know it serves a purpose.
Yeah. So let's talk about your career a little bit. You started in, what year was it?
2003.
2003, coming up on 20 years. How has what all changes have you seen, and how has the elections office evolved over the years?
Well, when I started, we were all paper. Paper was stacked down rows on tables. We'd go in and count them, write the serial numbers down, and had a log sheet and chain of custody for those going in. We were precinct-based. 2005 is when we started moving to electronic equipment. 2006 is when we moved to vote centers and away from paper. We actually went all electronic in November of 2006.
We'll see.
2006 is when the county started contracting with all the cities and schools to conduct their elections, because our thought was, or the county's thought was, is that when we went to voting equipment, that we would buy enough for all the entities in order to conduct their elections. And that's exactly what the county did. And so that's when we started contracting. I have watched it go from just all electronic to 2017 to different equipment. 2019, we've gone to a paper-based system, the thermal ballot paper. And we're looking, as watching legislation. I have no idea what's going to happen, but eventually we may be back to just paper.
Yeah.
So, but we went from being in an office that's not much bigger than what you're in right now, to we're almost on a whole city block over there.
Right.
And we're continue to grow. Elections continue to grow.
Right.
And
I noticed you talk about paper. We should make the distinction for those that hadn't voted, but it's electronic when you go in, but they give you a piece of paper and you have to input that.
Yes. When you check in and you're given your ballot access code, you pick up a piece of thermal ballot paper and you go over to the equipment and make your choices, and it prints it out. It gives you another opportunity to proof that ballot and make sure you've made your correct selections, and then you drop it in the ballot scanner that does the counting.
I have an interesting story. When we voted in the June, the regular special election, is that?
That's a good way.
The regular special election. They gave me the what do you call it, thermal funnel back. And I walked up, and I was about to walk out, and they're just kind of looking at me. And I said, "Y'all need this?" She said, "Your vote doesn't count unless you give that to me."
Yep.
So
you don't drop it in the scanner, it doesn't count. So.
has the the county elections office always administrated the city elections?
Since 2006.
Okay. And how did we do that before? Do we have two elections office? I don't even remember.
No, sir. Before 2006, all the entities conducted their own elections. They got their own poll workers, and they were paper-based just like the county was.
Yeah. I always wondered, I think I know the answer, but United participates in early, but
Yes.
they don't normally participate on election day. Is that because of traffic?
We used United's one election, and yes, nobody went anywhere else. They went to United supermarkets. However, we are using United at 98th and Quaker this time for Election Day instead of First Assembly. First Assembly had an event come up that asked us if we could relocate, and United was gracious enough to let us come in.
I would think even in a runoff situation that we're like we're in now, they just y'all make it so easy. I don't know why we wouldn't have the same or more turnout because you walk right, especially for early, because you walk right in and everybody goes to the grocery store.
Yep.
And it makes it pretty easy. Okay, let's remind folks we were talking earlier. You've got plenty of help this time.
Yes, we do have plenty of help.
And you need how many for November?
We're looking at 300 plus for November elections.
Do you typically get the kind of help that you need?
No, we do not.
Okay, that's why we're talking about it.
I hate saying that on air, but no, we do not. We can conduct an election with less than 300, but it's harder for the voters when they go in to vote because if we don't have enough folks, we can't move the lines as fast enough. November's going to be a much longer ballot, than it has been because you'll have everything on there now. You'll have District 19, you'll have your federal races, you'll have county races and any statewide ones as well. And some are unopposed, but there are several that do have, two people or more on the ballot.
So the way that works is, there's like 32 counties, so say Congressional District 19. There's like 32 counties total. Lubbock's one of 32, right?
We're one of 32.
What's that process of reporting? Because you guys don't keep up with all the counties.
Sir. On election night, once the polls close and early voting numbers have been released, once the party chairs have made their phone calls to the candidates that they are supposed to call, we then submit the numbers to the state.
Yeah.
And the Secretary of State is the one who will have the final numbers posted for all 32 counties.
And they usually do a pretty good job of at least tracking with a percentage of reporting. And then once they're final, you think we'll have final results by 10 p.m.?
For Lubbock, you should.
For Lubbock, we should.
Yes.
Okay. Very good. Visiting with Roxzine Stinson this morning. If you have a question or comment for the elections office, 806-771-0923. If you want to wish her well, you can do a virtual card on the text line and just thank her for the work. As we mentioned earlier, this is your last week. Is it an emotional week for you?
Bittersweet week.
Bittersweet. Okay.
Bittersweet.
That's good. What anything left to be done before you hand off the reins?
Other than finishing up the paperwork for the primary runoff and getting it submitted to Secretary of State's office, no, sir, not that I know of.
And I know we talked about him earlier, but talk about Troy, the gentleman that's replacing you, and where he comes from.
Troy Havard is the new elections administrator, and he comes from Tarrant County. He served as the chief deputy of elections there for several years.
Very good. Okay, coming up after the break, I want to ask you about absentee ballots. That seems to be an interesting number as well. Visiting with Roxzine Stinson this morning. Happy Monday, everybody. 78 degrees outside. It's going to be another hot one. So if you do plan on voting early in this special runoff election, do it before it gets too hot. We'll be back right after this. Stay with us.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Good morning, everybody. This is the Wake Up Call for Lubbock and West Texas on this Monday, July 27th, 2026. 78 degrees outside right now. The sun has risen over downtown Lubbock on our way to another hot 100 degrees. Do we typically see lower turnout the hotter it gets?
No, this election, no. It seems the hotter the day's gotten, the more higher turnouts been.
I see. Well, get out there and vote when you can. Bigger turnout than the regular election, which is crazy. I want to talk more about that in just a minute, but first I want to talk about our new friends over at Two Buds Water Well Service. Water's a huge deal, and we know that. We talk about it all the time. And whether it's your home, your business, or even your farm, these guys over at Two Buds, they do it all. They handle new residential, commercial, and agricultural well drilling. They'll do new pump installations. They also service existing wells and pressure systems, too. Did you know if you want a private well drilled in your backyard in Lubbock, Texas, you can do that inside the city limits to supplement your city water? These guys at Two Buds will handle that entire process for you. There is some required permits and paperwork. They'll take the hassle completely off of you. They'll do inspections for buyers and sellers. They'll even come out and test the quality of your existing well. Tanner and John and the whole crew over at Two Buds Water Well Service, they're the experts. I'm going to give you their phone number, 806-401-5111. Whether you're in need of a new water well, a pump service, repairs, they've got the experience. They're local, great reputation. They'll get the job done. They'll do it right. 806-401-5111. That's Two Buds Water Well Service. We appreciate their support of the program. Visiting with Roxzine Stinson at the Lubbock County Elections Office this morning. This is her last week. She's been in there for 20 plus years. So I'm honored to have you. Probably it's one of your last radio interviews on this morning. What's first order of business when you leave the elections office?
Well, believe it or not, I'm headed to Austin with my mother.
Okay, very good.
I'm going to go see family.
Yep, see family. You mentioned your niece. Can you talk about her?
Can I talk about her? I have 3 amazing nieces.
Okay.
They are blessings from God, let me tell you what. Love all 3 of them to death, but
Yeah.
I enjoy spending time with them, and they all 3 seem to enjoy spending time with me, and I cherish it for every moment, because someday they may get more grown up than what they are and say, I'm tired of you, Aunt Rock. So,
Well,
yeah.
I bet they're ready to spend some quality time.
They are.
Because that's not an easy job. Running an elections office, you get it from all sides. I would think. Have we had any? We had a little flub there, which ended up being a good thing because we know our security works now. But has everything run smooth so far?
Everything's run smooth since we figured out what we did wrong when we were cleaning equipment. So we're doing great.
Very good. So we've got our early voters, we've got our election day voters, and then we have absentee voters. Is the absentee trend this runoff trending higher like the rest of them?
Not right now.
Okay.
We still have this week for mail ballots to come in, and then we still could get some late ballots, but we're mailed out, I think, 2 more mail ballots than what we did the first time around. We're at about 430, and currently just a little over 100 of them have come back. Now, over half of them, right at half, came back the first election. I'm expecting that many or more at this one.
Okay, so there's a deadline to request one. That was last week.
That was last week. Yes, sir.
And then they have until Election Day? Or?
It must be postmarked by 7 p.m. on Election Day. And with this being a Saturday election, it can be received by Monday. Mm-hmm. We still have a few military ballots and overseas ballots out, and they have a few days after the election to have theirs back in, as long as it's postmarked.
Okay. And let's remind folks what they need to go and vote when they show up at, say, if it's early, if the next 2 days, they show up at United. What do they need to have with them?
A photo ID, your driver's license, your concealed carry license, or just if you have VA, your military ID will work. But there's 7 different forms of IDs that you can present. And the list is on our website or the Secretary of State's website.
Okay, and we'll look that up and remind folks. Polls open here in about 15 minutes?
Yes, and we're open 8 to 8 today and tomorrow.
And then on election day,
7 to 7.
7 to 7. So how do you get the results out? What's the process? Who's the first word that you give?
We give them to the city secretary in an election like this.
Okay.
And that way she'll make calls, and once she's made her calls, she will let us know, and then we'll post our website.
Okay. I remember the days when, being in the media, everybody's clamoring to get the first results out on the air. We had to go down there and wait in line, and then somebody would come out and hand everybody a sheet of paper.
And we still do.
Yeah.
We still have a few come, and last one we had the young lady come from one of the stations, and we'll probably have someone again this time as well. So
it's funny on the alerts. The trend I saw over the years. Somebody asked me the other day, how did things change in terms of informing people? And, everybody wants to be first in the media and this and that. I noticed, especially with elections and like communication within the school districts, it went from the media being the having the database of people to send out, say, a breaking news alert, to them having their own systems. So there would be times when there was big news, and the media would get an alert from the school district, like they do the parents. So technology has certainly changed. How has it changed for the elections office?
Quite a bit, because when I first started there, everybody had to be there in person to get the numbers.
Right.
And now you can either be there in person, or you can get it off our website. And if it's got federal and state offices on it, it'll be on the Secretary of State's website as well. So
okay, gotcha. Yeah. Visiting with Roxzine Stinson this morning with the Lubbock County Elections Office. This is her last week, and then she's retired. You think you'll stay retired?
No, I don't know anything but work.
Are you gonna stay on as a consultant to help through the transition?
We've talked about that, and I'm really not sure at this time. But
okay.
It is something I would consider.
Okay. Are you going to stay in Lubbock?
Oh, yes. I'm not leaving.
Not leaving Lubbock.
I've been here 50 years next February, so we're not moving.
So what do you do in your time off when you are working? What does Roxzine Stinson do for fun?
I sew.
Okay.
I crochet. I don't crochet anything fancy, but I do crochet, and I like to sew.
Yeah, very good. I want to dig a little deeper into some of this turnout, because it looks like it's pacing to be at least 15% bigger than the regular election we had in June, which is, you said earlier that you'd never seen that. I certainly had never seen it. In terms of precincts, like Lake Ridge, are they over-indexing as well? Are there any anomalies within the precincts? Anybody turning out more than others or less?
Well, I brought that with me.
Oh, very good.
Put my glasses on.
I'm glad I didn't catch you off guard. You're always prepared.
Well, precinct 54 is our biggest turnout right now.
Okay.
And you go from there to precinct 109 and 110 are good turnout. But they're the three biggest ones, and the fourth one is precinct 75 there, looks like, or 66.
So all those other precincts need to get their act together. How many precincts total in District 4?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Counting.
15, it looks like.
15 precincts. Very good. Hey, at least you got it right there in front of you. Roxzine Stinson, everybody, in her last week as Lubbock County Elections Administrator. I don't think we'll have heard the last of her. I suspect they'll probably need a little help through the transition. And then we'll meet Troy, the gentleman replacing you, hopefully pretty soon. Certainly before the November election.
I just reach out to him, and I'll give you his email before I leave here so you can reach out to him.
We'll be back with Roxzine Stinson to wrap up the hour after this.
Wake Up Call with Benji Snead continues on 92.3 The Hub, the voice for freedom.
Welcome back to the program, 7:50 a.m. You're listening to the Wake Up Call. Benji Snead here, along with Brennan Riker, our producer, and our guest in the studio. Appropriately, as she begins her last week after 20-plus years at the Lubbock County Elections Office, Roxzine Stinson this morning. Good morning again. Thanks for being here.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you having me in here.
Well, I'm glad you came. I want to say thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
Hopefully we'll end on a very successful, bright note. You've been in there 20-plus years. going into your last week, what's been the favorite part of your job?
No election's the same. It doesn't matter. The process might be the same, but no election's the same.
What do you mean by that? That's interesting.
Different voters, different economics, play a part of the elections, as they go in. Depends on how things look politically and economically. Will drive voter turnout sometimes.
Yeah. And what's been the biggest consistent challenge, if there is one?
Keeping up with legislation.
Oh, I would think.
They meet every 2 years, and every 2 years some changes. And it used to be minor changes, but since about 2021, there's been a lot of changes every session.
And I know there's a lot of talk about election integrity. Do you think we're, at least in Texas, you think we're trending back to paper ballots?
Yes and no. I don't really, I see it in legislation. They talk about it and have for several sessions now. And some sessions it gets a little more traction than others. So.
Right. I'm sure every elections office gets their share of people, especially lately, saying, "Oh, this is rigged and this and that." How do you respond to that? Obviously, the integrity down there is next to none. But how do you respond when you guys get accusations like that?
I ask them to show up for logic and accuracy testing, or to come work the elections and see what the processes and procedures are,
or at least go vote.
And go vote.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So. Talk about your confidence in the integrity in Lubbock County elections from what you've seen over the years. Are we safer than we've ever been? Or
I feel that we are, because every year, we've tightened our chain of custodies. And I know with Mr. Havard coming in, he's got some ideals that'll tighten them even more. And, we do everything we possibly can, and we know what seal's going out the door, what seal are to be coming back in on each piece of equipment.
Right.
We log all of that, and we're not the only county. Almost every county in this state does that.
Yeah.
And you can account for, everything. And if we have one that is voided for a reason that, we put it on the wrong piece when we weren't paying attention to our list where we're doing, we track that and we make notes of that, and we make sure we account for everything like that.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Over the years, what's kept you up at night the most?
Hoping we didn't mess up programming.
Now talk about when you say programming.
Well, we build the ballots ourselves in-house. We don't send it out to the vendor or anything. We do that in-house, and we test, and we test, and we test our poll books. Even before they put in legislation to test your poll books, Lubbock County was testing theirs. And we take a variety of voters, to test those poll books and make sure it's reading them and pulling up the correct precinct. And that barcode actually scans correctly when you go over there to the controller to get your access code.
I see.
And we test that stuff multiple times sometimes to make sure we're doing it correctly.
Have you ever, number one, how many recounts can you recall? And do you recall a recount changing the outcome?
No recounts ever changed the outcome as long as I've been here.
Okay.
We did one for Hale County right after we started the office, and we've had about 3 or 4 for the city of Lubbock since then.
I see. Okay. What's the craziest thing you've seen in a given election over 20 plus years? You're kind of laughing. I know you got one.
I don't know. We should all write books, folks that work elections.
Yeah.
But no, there's nothing really crazy.
Some things you can't share, but some things you might can.
Yeah, and when you show up at polling locations, and especially on Saturday on Lemonade Day, it's always seems to be on election day, and their lemonade stands out in front of the polling location, their tents. I've seen candidates out with their tents and umbrellas and stuff, but you hear stories from other counties where outside that 100-foot marker, it's fine. That's on them. That's my worries inside that 100-foot marker. But I've heard about having barbecues and other things.
Lots of creativity.
Yeah, there are.
So let's talk about that a little bit. I know there are rules. The rules for the public and for the candidates. Number of signs you can put out at a polling place, how close you can get. What are the rules?
The rules are it has to be 100 foot or further out for your signage, even for you to campaign and stuff. We have tried in the past to minimize the signage at the United Supermarkets because at their request, because they don't really have a whole lot of space out there. It's mostly cement. That a couple of years ago, we changed that. We backed off of that, and United understands. We spoke with them because it just got to the point we cannot manage that, and the law gives them the right to to put out however many signs they want to.
Right, but not inside 100.
But not inside that 100-foot. And if you put it inside that 100-foot marker, and we go out and remeasure because you moved my cone,
right,
and we're going to pull it up, put our cone back where it goes, and we're just going to lay it on the ground.
Lots of unseen pressure in this job, I would think. How do you enforce that? I mean, your workers are busy taking votes.
They are, and they if we have enough staff, they usually rotate them out to go out and check. But on the busier elections, I've always gotten out, and we have some other folks that we have trouble. We call them troubleshooters, but they're actually ladies and gentlemen from our IT department that go out election day to help if we have any issues. But they also monitor that for us, and if they find a location that we're having an issue at, they'll call, and I go out and I address it with the folks that are in violation.
Gotcha. Visiting with Roxzine Stinson this morning, 806-771-0923. If you want to write in or call in, wish her well. This is her last week in that role as she's headed into maybe retirement, maybe not retirement, and spend some time with family. So we appreciate all the good work that you've done, and thanks for being here this morning. You've been on, I think, about 3 times. We'd never met before we started the radio thing a while back, but it seems to me we've heard, and nothing against Dorothy Kennedy. What a great job she did. But it's been pretty quiet in terms of how smooth things have gone since you've been in there. So congratulations on that.
Well, Dorothy was a good teacher.
Yeah. Parting words, since this will probably be the last time you're on this program in this role, at least.
Well, I'd like to thank your listeners for one, and the voters out there. I mean, yes, once in a while we have a cranky person, but folks, you kept me on my toes. I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody, the kind words I've had over the years and things. And it's really been a blessing to be working for Lubbock County. And I appreciate everybody, even the media. The media's been amazing in this county.
Great. Well, thank you for your service.
Well, thank you.
I'm sure we won't hear, this isn't the last we'll hear of you, but good luck out there. So what do you do when you leave here today?
I'm going back to the office and work and try to finish up my project I'm working on, so I'll have everything completed before I leave here.
Yeah, real quick, I know you need workers for November, not that you're going to be around, but get involved. Go to the county website, look the number up. It is a paying job. You mentioned high school students can get involved there. If you need temporary worker, just want to do your duty. And you'll hand that off to Mr. Troy. Remind me of his last name.
Troy Havard.
Havard. Okay, we'll have to get in touch with him. I know you sent me his contact information. So, Roxzine Stinson, thank you for being here. Thank you for all your years of service, and job well done.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Coming up after the break, more news and weather. Fox News at the top of the hour, and we'll talk a little bit more about early voting going into the last 2 days. And then if you hadn't heard, Waylon Jennings is headed to the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Be back after this. This is the Wake Up Call, 92.3 The Hub.